Hello, I am back again with another story from Kabiraa's Bag of Stories. And it's going to be a real special story today for you. Are you interested? Are you interested in hearing to this? Yes? Okay. So, this is a beautiful story about an apple star. Have you ever heard of an apple star? Do you know what an apple star is? I'm going to tell you what an apple star is. Once upon a time, long, long ago, the world had only one apple tree. Only one. It was a baby apple tree, a seedling that had small roots and no branches. One night, the little apple tree sprouted. It looked up into the sky, the night sky, and was looking at the beautiful stars in the sky. The little apple tree wanted so badly to reach up to the stars. It wanted to reach them up and touch them. So it stretched and stretched, kept stretching until it slowly became a great apple tree. But though the tree stretched a lot, it wasn't able to reach the stars. Then it felt really sad. The great apple tree began to cry. Why was it sad? Because it could not touch the stars. And as it was crying, you know who suddenly appeared? A star fairy heard the apple tree cry and flew down to ask the apple tree, "What is wrong? Why are you crying?" The great apple tree said, "Oh dear fairy, oh dear star fairy, I want to touch the stars, but I'm way down here and they are way up there. How do I even touch them?" Then the star fairy thought for a moment and said, "Great apple tree, I will bring you a star, but the stars live very far away. So it will take some time for me to return. Are you okay with it?" The great apple tree said, "Yes, I will be waiting for you, dear fairy." And it started wondering. And at that moment, what it saw the fairy flying into the sky. And the apple tree started waiting for the fairy to appear, to get it a star. Then spring came, and when spring comes, what happens? The trees start getting new green leaves. And that's what happened with the apple tree also. It started getting bright green leaves and it started getting small pink flowers. But it still could not touch the stars. And then came summer. And when summer came, the pink flowers changed to white. But still, it could not touch the stars. And slowly, the white stars, which were like the white leaves that were like the bright stars, they began to turn into tiny apples. But still, the great apple tree could not touch the stars. And then came fall. The tiny apples that were there in summer, they grew bigger and bigger and bigger until they were ready to eat. And the great apple tree was so proud of all the apples. And it forgot about the stars. Until one day, you know who came back? The star fairy came back. And she told the great big apple tree, the great apple tree, "I brought you a basket of stars. But your branches are full of apples. How would you even hold them? You have apples all around. How can you hold the stars?" The apple tree was very happy. He said, "Oh, thank you, star fairy. but I no longer need the stars. My apples fill up my branches and they are so pretty as they are. I don't want to part with all my apples. I don't want to separate from all my apples. The star fairy then thought for a moment and then said, I will give each of your apples a star, hidden deep within. And every time a child cuts open an apple, she will see a beautiful star. And what did the star fairy do after that? She touched every apple on the apple tree with her magic wand and planted deep within the apple a beautiful star. Wow, that's an amazing story. But is it true? Do all apples have stars? The fairy said that the apples have stars. Should we check? Should we check? I've got an apple here from that great apple tree. I think we should cut and check whether there's a star within. Shall we check whether there's a star deep within? Okay, let me cut it for you. I have the knife, I have the apple, and I'm cutting it open for you. And the apple is now cut. Shall we see if there's a real star within the apple? Deep within the apple? Oh yes, there is. Can you see? Can you see the stars? Can you see the star that the star fairy has given to the apple? Can you see? There's one here as well. Yes, that means there is a star within every apple. So this is the story of the apple star. Do you want to see? Then quickly go to Mama, ask her to cut an apple and see it for yourself. Yes, and then get back to me and tell me whether you saw the stars. Okay, I will be waiting for your phone call. Okay? So I'll get another nice story for you from Kabiraa's Bag of Stories next time. But I'll have to go to get a story. So now I will say goodbye and take care of yourselves. Stay home and stay safe.